You're gonna like it, you know. And then you go to Costco and they give you that little sample, and you're like, oh,
You got me.
that's pretty good. Let me get
a couple
3
few
gallons of that. Let me get 3 gallons of that mayonnaise. I didn't know I liked mayonnaise. Now I need a vat of it. Here we go. We are going on to the action. We are looking at Cody Buchanan and Alan Boss. Cody Buke coming in, that SRD Nissan Z. Oh, Alan Boss, he lets it air out. Looks like, again, that other Nissan Z in that chase position comes now into that third outside zone. Is going to tighten it up. Boss dives in. So see that? Buchanan massage it up in there. That's that natural flow. I talk about that box as they exit out of the keyhole or the horseshoe. Now coming in, boom. Buchanan, great placement of the car. Yeah. Really good fluidity. You know, Boss was a little bit sporadic in that chase position. We're going to have to take a look at the overhead view and see what happened there. He kept it between the lines, but let's see it.
Yeah, the only takeaway from Buchanan's run was probably in outer zone 3, but we'll get there. So good job initiation, you know, almost get 90 degrees. A little too deep on the inner clip. Here's where Boss had a little challenge there through inner clip 1 as Buchanan filled out outer zone 2 really well. Kind of a bit of a waiver there, left foot braking. Again, he was shallow there in 3. Can't really tell in that angle, but you can tell that rear tire was just barely in the paint there, and Boss kind of wavering, weavering, trying to get there. He was in kind of the wrong position there, but it kind of helped him get in that transition back in that pocket going down the hill. So, you know, the only thing I could take away with Buchanan's run was he was a little shallow in the outer zone 3 and got a little waiver going into that zone. And remember, that zone is actually shifted about 10 feet or so from years past. So you enter it a little later and you leave it a little later to kind of promote that wider line. So let's reverse him. Boss is out front for the clean air. Buchanan follow.
All right, here we go. Boss out front using all the force. He works from left to right. Goes for that straight line approach. He does take that tighter line. It looks, it has to come out of it a little bit. Gives a little bit of angle up. Compromises that. Going to outside zone 3, a tighter line. So just not enough horsepower to get up to that hill and get, because again, a lot of the fans, if they've never been here before, it's very deceiving on how much elevation it is to go from this point. This is basically the lowest point of the course, that inside clip 1, and then you go up the hill. So to really get that horsepower, you know, you got to think about the tires, the horsepower, the setup there. And you saw Boss really struggle to get to outside zone 2 and massage to get to outside zone 3. And even again, Buchanan on second glance looks like he did have some hiccups. Walk us through it.
Yeah, let's look at Boss. It kind of fell apart for him right after inner clip 1. He was kind of struggling to get fully fill outer zone 2 there, and really cuts the corner into 3. Pretty absent there. You can just kind of hear the engine lugging there, and Buchanan doing a pretty decent job of adapting, but he's keeping his distance because I feel like he's kind of wary of what's going on with Boss in the front there. And he does lose a little bit of real estate, but I don't think they're going to ding that against the chase driver because not much else Buchanan can do there. So looking from the eye in the sky from the Air Force replay here as they go up the hill, and you can see Boss not a lot of angle there going into outer zone 2, does a little landscaping there through outer zone 3 and shallow there, and then kind of deep into the inner clip 2 as he does get into touch and go pretty well. Buchanan staying in frame here as well as he can, kind of cutting the corner there, but I feel like because of the mistakes in the lead that he just couldn't anticipate well enough what was going on in that chase position. So let's see what the judges think about that run.
Yeah, let's see Buchanan and Boss slide him left for Buchanan, right for Alan Boss. And Buchanan gets the victory, taking out Alan Boss. A good effort there. Would like to get some insight from the judges, just as much as we can. And Reese, if we could throw on that headset there and just elaborate, just to set precedence. So again, where are you guys focusing at? Because